There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I see with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite, yeah, when we unite, oh, we unite, yeah, yeah, when we unite, yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
There we go. We fixed the sound. Whew, I'm so glad. So glad to be here. Grateful to be here. Lafia. Oh, Marion, nice to see you. Yes, we're here. We're ready to grow. We're ready to go, and we're ready to grow. And fixing some stuff over here, but it's gonna have to be. Let's take a breath. Let's take another breath, reminding ourselves that we are one with the one. And this time when you take a breath, I want you to breathe in from the crown of your head and breathe out through your body. That's right. In this holy space, we are remembering that this is holy ground. We are one with the one. And it's a good day. It's a good morning. It's a good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to you wherever you are at this very moment in time. Thank you for tuning in, to yourself first, because that's important, and then tuning into Being You. Ade Presents Being You, the podcast. When you tune in, you give yourself permission to listen. You create this space to be transformed. You know it. I am Ade, your transformational beingness artist. And I welcome you to another episode of Ade Presents Being You, the journey back to yourself. That's what it's about. Every conversation that I have on here is a reminder to come back home, to come back to yourself. We have been conditioned, we have been programmed, we have been convinced to focus more on the outside, sometimes all in the name of love. We've conditioned, treated to love another, be nice to another, be kind to another. But yes, it's important to be kind to self, to love self, to be compassionate with self, because the love that you give to self is the only love you can extend outward. And the love that you feel when others are loving you is the love that you're generating. Really think about that, since it is simple, but you can miss the point. You can miss the point. The love that you feel is the love that you are generating. The hate that you feel is the hate that you're generating. The joy, it starts with us. It starts with you and me. We think it's happening out there, but we are the generator, generating the feelings that we want to experience. So whether if you're missing something, wish you have something, you can go to that space right now and imagine what it's like. That's a step. That's an intellectual step to get there. What would it be like to have that? What would it be like to just never have to think about money, worry about money, knowing that money will always come to me whenever I need it? What would it be like to be in a romantic relationship where I'm loved and honored and I can show up as myself? Catch what that feels like. What would it be to be in a perfect home? What would it be to have a successful business? What would it feel like for me when I'm in that space? Watch your mind, because your mind might want to play a game and say, yeah, but. There ain't no yeah, but in this work. There ain't no yeah, but. The only yeah, but there is getting that butt. Yes, move your butt out of the way. And it's true. There are people in our lives who supports us to tap into that love, that beauty, sometimes the hate, the drama, but especially the feelings that we desire. There are people who can stand just by who they're being. I tell people, I said, you know why I love you? I love you because I love how I feel when I'm with you. I love how I feel, how I'm expressing myself, how comfortable I feel because of you. Because the love I'm feeling is the love that I'm giving to myself. It's a love that I'm allowing myself to express. It's not necessarily coming from the outside. They're projecting it, yes. But people can love you and you can block it. People can smile at you and like, what the hell are they smiling at? I can't stand that. You know what? You block the smile. So when you find yourself in that place, in that space where it's challenging, just say this affirmation. I am present. I am here. I am now. I am present. I am here. I am now. I am present. I am here. I am now. The only place you could ever be is right here, right now. Be present for it. Be around for your own transformation. That's right. I am present. I am here. I am now. This is season 3, episode 29, Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. Being You, the podcast, we invite you to ask yourself these questions. How do you see yourself? Like, ask yourself, how do I see myself? How do I see the world? That's when you personalize it. How do I see myself in the world? And how do I see the world in me? So when I ask you, how do you see yourself? How do you see the world? How do you see yourself in the world? And how do you see the world in you? Those are questions, if you sit with it, sometimes even just allow the answers to rise up. You may think about it, you may catch an insight, you may catch an awareness, but create the space. How do I see myself really? And this is not about looking for something positive or something, it's just listening. Because sometimes the truth is we don't always see ourselves as what we say we are, what we say we know ourselves to be. We may see ourselves as a failure. You may see yourself as somebody who can never succeed in business, who got this disease, who got that. There's some other processes I could take you through, but I won't because I don't have the time to do it, I don't think. But if I do, I might come back to it. If I have time to do it before 10:30, I'll do it. If I forget, remind me, because you can challenge your own thoughts. You can ask yourself so you can go deeper. The theme today is money as energy. And I want to invite you to open your heart, your mind, your consciousness, everything about you, to learn something new, to catch a new awareness. Even if you're living financially abundant. If you have so much money coming in, you can't give it away, not because by the time you give it away, more's come. Just allow yourself to catch a new awareness about money. How you see yourself in relationship to money. There's so many narratives about money. There's so many things that we've bought into. There's a shadow side to money. There's a light side to money. And that's what we're talking about today. My guest is Rev D. She'll be joining soon, around in about 15 minutes. So I want to invite you to join me on the main, if you're on Facebook, on the main broadcast platform, which is facebook.com/being you, BEing you podcast. There you can interact. You can like the page and share the show. I invite you, I ask you to do me a favor and share in the show so we can reach even more people. The world needs truth. The world needs to know. I say that and I'll stand with it because my mind is saying something else. The world needs it because I know the world needs it. That's all that matters. My point of view is relevant. The world needs to know, wants to know. There are people who are saying, do I matter? Am I enough? Do I have what it takes? Can I really make a difference? I don't know. This platform is about affirming you. Affirming what you're doing, what you're creating, and affirming every individual. Whatever you believe in. If you believe in a God of, thank you, Kwali, for sharing. If you believe in a God that's going to punish you, so be it. If you believe that when you leave this planet, you're either going to heaven or hell, so be it. If you believe in a God that's just going to love you no matter what, so be it. If you believe in, there ain't no God. I don't know why you guys talking about God. I was listening to you until you said that word. So be it. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we can connect heart to heart, mind to mind. I don't really necessarily give a flip about what you believe. What I am concerned about is, are you coming from a place of honoring humanity, honoring yourself, honoring your family members, honoring people that you work with? Are you adding to what's going on in the world from a positive perspective? Is what you are adding to the world, to your business, to your job, to your neighborhood, to your spiritual community or whatever community, are you adding information? Is your presence changing the issues, the drama? Are you bringing solutions? Or are you just one of those people who are saying you don't like what the problem is, but you end up adding more to the problem because you keep complaining and then looking for other people to join with you? You might even create a society, make a YouTube channel because it's just so bad. Yes, there are things going on in the world that's just jacked up, to put it nicely. It's jacked up, yet we can make a difference. We are growing through the most challenging time of our lives. The energy, the vibration of what was called a pandemic that's kind of focalized and saying, oh, it's because COVID-19. No, that was just an outward representation of what's happening on the inside of a spiritual evolution. We are evolving. We are becoming so much more. So it came as that. And some of us are learning to redefine ourselves to ourselves, reintroduce ourselves to ourselves, because we're learning that, no, there's more. And some of us are just like, what's the point? Some of us are going literally through hell because it's too painful. There's a dear friend of mine. She's worked with me before on my radio shows. She found that she had issues with her brother where they didn't know where he was. And then when they did find him, he was in a hospital and something happened. I don't know if she put all the information on social media, Facebook. I saw some of the information, but I don't know what happened to the brother. The next thing I know, she was saying he was brain dead. And then they were taking him off the life support machine. And then he left the planet. And then a few days later, she found out that another brother made his transition a few days. So it's like back to back. We are all, see what we're going through. We're being stripped. I wasn't even planning to say all of this. I had other things I want to talk about, but we're all being stripped. And I'm so backed up with so much. I've been wanting to do a live. I was going to come in, but I haven't had time. Been traveling between Leicester and London, going back and forth. And my equipment is at home. I got to go to London. But, we're being stripped of the old. And we must remember, my beloved, my partner, she will always say, she said one time, she said, what we're dealing with is matters of the heart. We're in a place where it's the heart, our heart, your heart, my heart is what's going to get us through. It's at the center of it all. The heart is now. The heart is in this moment. The heart is present. And oftentimes when we come to the heart, we may find some things that is uncomfortable. Can you be still long enough to make room for what is uncomfortable? If you don't, you're going to project it. If you don't, you're going to judge yourself. If you don't, you're going to think something is wrong with you. If you can't do it by yourself, reach out. lifecoachade.com. I'm here to support you on your journey. Reach out to somebody else. Reach out to another coach, another spiritual teacher, whatever, your minister, your teacher, your doctor, whoever you believe can support you in living from a place of alignment, of truth, a friend, YouTube. It's all out there and we need each other. It's nothing new. You've always felt this. Let me go through my announcements real quick. So I partnered with a podcast hosting site called Libsyn. So if you're thinking, my dear sister, nice to see you. If you're thinking of starting your own podcast or have a podcast and you're looking for another host, check out libsyn.com, LIBSYN. Now, if you sign up first of all, read up, see if it aligns with you. Make sure you use the promo code. The promo code is, let me use this other thing. Let's use that one. Use the promo code ADE, ADE. That promo code allows you to get a month free. This is how it works. If you sign up today is the 5th. You get the whole of October free and the whole of November free. If you sign up like October 29th, you would get the last few days of October and the whole of November. Check it out. You may not be thinking, maybe you've been playing around. Maybe you don't have a podcast, but you're thinking that I might want to do it. Check it out and use the promo code ADE. and find out more what they have to offer. They have a lot. On Wednesdays, my dear friend and I, Ricky Byers, we host Soul Fulfilling every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and 2 a.m. UK time. Join us. You can go to where'd you go again? YouTube.com/Ricky Byers. RICKIE BYARS. If you didn't catch that, Google it. Libsyn, I don't think I gave it a website address. It is libsyn.com, LIBSYN.com. Check them out. There's some other things I want to tell you. Great things are happening. And let me make sure I got it here. I don't know if I shared this either. Until January 2022, I'm only doing my shows on the first and the third Tuesdays of the month. Come January, I'm back to weekly. I didn't do the last show September 21st. I was in London, being with my father, caring for him with my sisters. And he had an appointment at the hospital. We had to go. I was trying to pre-record, use my phone, but time and trying to get to a place to record the show and be censored just didn't happen. So for those who came looking for the show and said, where is it? What happened? I don't know where you are. I wasn't there. So my apologies. What else do I need to tell you? Do I want to tell you? I've told you about Ricky. I've told you about Libsyn. I've told you about the podcast. Ooh, I got to tell you about this. So the Shift Network, most of you know it. And if you don't know, Google it, the Shift Network. They have a summit coming up called Beyond the Veil Summit. I am one of the speakers. And I'm going to post a link in the chat room here. Beyond the Veil Summit. I have to say it out loud. If I want to, I could either go quiet while I do it or say it out loud. Oh, I almost spell shift differently. The only difference between shift and the other thing is the F. You know that, right? So in order to have a shift, you have to face the shift. I'm just saying. Shift Network. Okay, here we go. And I am going to post this here. That's the link. I think that should show up on Facebook and yeah, there you go. It shows up on all the links. I don't know if it's showing up on my personal page. So if you're on my personal page and don't see, go to the Being You podcast page on Facebook or go to YouTube, which is youtube.com/LC Radio. LC Radio. That will take you there. All the shows are archived on there as well. So I'm one of the speakers, and the summit it's called Beyond the Veil. What's beyond the veil for you? What are your thoughts about death? Are you comfortable with death? Can you talk about death? Can we communicate with people who are no longer in the body? Is death the absolute end and everything just goes? Maybe. You get to find out. So there on the summit, you're going to hear from speakers, scientists, experts, spiritual teachers, have many perspectives that inspires you, that will empower you to see death differently, to embrace death differently, and also learning how to die while you're alive. To die while you're alive. How do you do that? You embrace the willingness, the tools of grief rituals. I won't go into that and say so much. I think I need to do a live. I have so much that I want to share. It's just been pretty busy. The more we do our grief work, I tell people that I'm a shadow worker. When you become a shadow worker, when you're a shadow worker, you do the work. You're going in the dark places. And there's nothing scary in the dark places. It's actually where the gems are. It's where the treasures are. So I post, for those of you on Instagram, I might have to create a link because there's no way I can do it right now. But if you go to the Shift Network, I got a special link for you, which will give you some perks if you click it. So maybe I'll add that later. I don't know if I can do it. I'm going to figure it out for those of you in IG. Anyway, today's topic, today's conversation is money as energy. What are some of your money issues? What are some of the things that you're going through and growing through? Maybe you don't have the issues anymore. Share how you grew through it, how you healed through it. When we say money as energy, what does energy mean to you? How are you showing up? How are you allowing the energy of life to flow through you? Are you in the flow of the currency of love, the currency of money, the currency of beauty, the currency of creativity, the currency of all good things? Yes. Marion said, I believe that our money circulates. It goes out and it comes back. And it's constantly going back, keep on flowing. If we're holding on to it, we damn the flow. We get damned by the damn thing. And yet, with that powerful truth, there's still beliefs that we carry, that we hold about money, that we struggle with letting it go sometimes. I struggle with letting it go. You may struggle with letting it go. Yes, I'm in the flow, my dear sister. New Jace, nice to see you. How are you circulating your money? If you really just go into the quiet space of your own self, of your own heart, of your own mind, do you wholeheartedly know that there is enough? Do you have thoughts where you're saying you have to work hard to earn money? Have you ever said, yes, I know that's true, but I got to pay my bills? Have you ever thought of what you're here to do? What you're here to give? Maybe you heard something from spirit, from the divine, nudging you to do something different. And you find yourself, well, how am I going to make money? When we separate money from God, when we separate money from who we are, we literally are living from a place of evil consciousness. We're not living alive with money. Evil is life spec backwards. When you're living backwards, believing there isn't enough, that you have to work hard to make money. Some of those beliefs are still present for me. I've been sharing about traveling to London, back and forth from Leicester to London. So it's kind of created a new, I won't say disrupt, that's the word I was going to use. It's created a new pattern for me. So some things that I want to do with my business that I haven't been able to do. And I find myself thinking, if I don't do that, I won't make money. And I get to sit with that. I get to challenge that belief. Is it true? Is it true? Byron Katie would say, challenge your beliefs. When you have a belief and you say, you have a thought, well, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money to be of service. I don't have enough money to do whatever. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough. I don't have enough. Whatever it is. I don't have enough love. I don't have enough whatever. Is it true? 4 questions you can ask yourself, whatever the thought is. Is it true? And the answers is you either answer yes or no. If it's true that you don't have enough money, then the next question is, can you absolutely know that is true? That is true that you don't have enough money. Can you absolutely know that it is true? And if you're being real with yourself, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe you have to say, I believe that I don't have enough money, but I can't be absolutely true that I don't have enough. I don't know, really don't know, because I won't go there. I'll stay with that. So we're doing 4 questions. The next question is, the third question. Those of you who know Byron Katie's work, the third question is, how do you show up? Who are you? I'm paraphrasing actually, but the essence of it is, when you believe the thought that you don't have enough money, how do you show up in the world? Give yourself permission to kind of go on this journey, because you will catch a new insight. If it's not money, something else. Nobody loves me. Family don't understand me. I'm the black sheep. They judge me. The conservatives are this. The Labour Party, I'm talking about in UK, are this. The Republicans, the Democrats are this. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? And if you say, yes, it's true. Yes, it's absolutely true. How do you show up when you believe that thought? How do you show up when you believe that thought, that the thought that's really causing you to feel separated from the truth of who you are? How do you show up in the world? How does it feel? And the last question is, who are you without that thought? So we're talking about money. If the thing you're dealing with, you say that I don't have enough money, there isn't enough money. Who are you without that thought? If you just release that thought for a moment, you can go pick it up if you want. But for a moment, who are you without that thought? The thought of, I don't have enough. And see what shows up for you. There are tools out here to return us back to the truth of who we are. And I'm always so grateful to have the space, your ears, your heart, your consciousness. And just as grateful to have my mentor, my friend, be here. Because I know that no matter how much I think I know, she's going to take it to the next level. And what something happens when we get together, man, I just love it. It's just like, it's an explosion. So I want the explosion to start right now. So let me tell you a little bit. Those of you who listen regularly, listen as if you're hearing this for the first time. Because once again, you might catch a new awareness. You know Rev D. But there might be some things that you will hear today that will cause you to see yourself differently, know about what she does. She's powerful. She's compassionate. She's busy and she shows up. She's available. She is willing. She is my mentor. But let me tell you a little bit more, as it says on the website. Reverend Deborah L. Johnson, aka Rev D, is a lifelong social justice activist with a passion for healing social, political, and cultural divide. I can just stop there. She is the founder of Inner Light Ministries, board member of the Pachamama Alliance, the founding member with Michael Bernard Beckwith of Agape International Spiritual Center. She is the author of The Sacred Yes and Your Deepest Intent. If you don't have any of those books, go get it. Those books are written for a time like these. The Sacred Yes and Your Deepest Intent. It's full of downloads, things that's going to speak to you so uniquely, so much so you'll be like, wait a minute, is God in the house with me? And your heart goes, of course God is in the house, because God is with you always. What do you mean? What you looking for? You're here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, psychics and skeptic, physical beings and non-physical beings, help me welcome my sister, my friend, my mentor, my midwife, Rev D. Welcome home.
Hello there. Greetings to everybody. Always good to be on your show.
Thank you for being here. Good to see you. We got that black thing going. I wasn't even planning. Actually, I had a white t-shirt and I changed it, but I was still there with you.
There you go.
Rev D, how are you? How's your day? I know it's early for you. How's your day showing up? How is it unfolding?
You know, it's good. It's a lot. Life is in session.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but it's good. It's good.
Yes.
A lot of growth, a lot of movement, a lot of, like I keep saying, COVID changed all my plans. It shattered all my plans. And my dreams are coming true.
Yes.
So
yes,
it's good.
This always happens, so I'm going with it. So I had a big aha about 2 weeks ago. And it's around this idea, so much is going on. There's so much going on. There's so much going on. You and I have talked about this many times on shows that we've done. I know I have, where when I listen to shows that we've done together 10 years ago, shows that I've done, I heard myself saying, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And we're in a new lot going on right now. What I recognized was when I've been saying it in the past few months that there's a lot going on, I have really been experiencing it as if it's something that's not supposed to happen. Like, we have this thing going on. It's not really supposed to be like this, but it's happening. So let's just deal with it. 2 weeks ago, I really just got, no, this is it. This is it. There's no point selling it as, yeah, there's a lot going on nowadays. A lot is going on, period. And it's part of the growth, and it's part of our development. We're evolving. We are shedding old beliefs. We are catching new insights. I feel like we are experiencing the dying of an old world and the birthing of another one. And we're in the middle of it.
Yes.
We are ushering a new reality for those to come. But I don't know if this conversation is amplified. I think some of us don't. We just think, what's going on? Why is this happening to me? But you're birthing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask questions. I can feel you bubbling. So I'm just going to throw it over to you. No questions. I'm throwing it to you. I'm tapped. What is it when you're doing wrestling? It just tap you or whatever they call it. Your turn.
Well, there's always a lot going on.
Yes.
Okay. Just even in terms of your body tempo, there are hundreds of thousands of processes that are going on simultaneously.
Yes.
Part of the difference now, two things. One is an increase of the frequency of the vibration that we're in right now. And two is that due to our technologies, we have the capacity to be exposed to and doing more things.
Yes.
So in a lot going on, a lot of it has to do with just the multiplicity of things. For example, your life, my mama's life, somebody's life across the world would have already been going on simultaneously. What's new is the capacity for me to be holding a phone and within 30 seconds to hear what's going on in your life, my mama's life, and somewhere around the world, and be responding and reacting to all of you simultaneously. You know, what's new and a lot going on. When I was growing up, you didn't have cell phones. Okay. You when you left the house, that was it. You couldn't reach me until I got someplace else where there was a phone. But now,
or when you're home and you pick up the phone, they say, hang up the phone.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and only one person on at a time.
Yes. Yes.
You know, so the amount of access, and that's what we have to pay attention to, is what are we making ourselves accessible to?
Yeah.
There's always a lot, but do we have to be in the middle of all of it?
Yes.
And how much of that is optional? You know, I've been looking forward to this conversation once we said we were going to be talking about money and the energy of money, because I got a lot to say about it.
Yes, yes.
And specifically about money as energy. You know, we deify money. We make a god out of money.
Yes.
And it's ironic that we make a god out of money, but money can't do anything God can do. Okay. Money can't bring you happiness. It can't bring you health, growth, transformation, stability, integration, courage, strength, faith, joy, peace, power, divine order, right action. It can't bring you any of those things. And yet we chase after it as though it is the portal to all of those things.
Yes.
It's like money can't make you happy. It can make being miserable a little more comfortable. You know, money can't bring you love,
Right.
but it could attract a few people to sit there in your loneliness with you. So, like I tell people all the time, all roads lead to God.
Yes.
Some are just a little more scenic.
Mhm. I'm bumpy sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that money can't make certain aspects of the journey appear to be more comfortable in the creature comfort senses. But what I'm saying is that there is a Greek word, one of my favorite words in the Bible, dunamis. Dunamis is power. It says we have been given the spirit of this power. And this dunamis isn't power over things. It's just pure, unbridled capacity to do. Agency, will, volition. And too many of us project our dunamis onto money.
Yes.
We think money has our dunamis. Okay. We think money is what makes us capable or strong or gives us will or volition. No. Money is just a tool. But if you don't know that you already have it, getting money ain't gonna bring it to you.
That's right.
You'll just be a poor person with a lot of money.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You know, I mean, statistically, we can show this. People who haven't shifted their consciousness but come into great amounts of wealth, few years it's gone.
Hashtag lottery winners.
It's gone because
Yes.
they're not calibrating with the frequency of wealth. They're not calibrating with the frequency of enoughness and sufficiency. So they have all this money, but they're going to create the reality that resonates with their frequency. Okay, this is true about everything. If I don't think I'm lovable, I'm going to attract abusive relationships. You know, if I think that the world is harsh and sucks, those are the kinds of people that I'm going to have.
Yes.
Because the universe just says yes.
That's it.
So it'll just validate whatever you put out there. You say that life is good, yes. Life sucks, yes. Life is easy, yes. Life is hard, yes. You're always right.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Because our every word is in order that we put out there.
Yeah.
We give, and even when we think about this thing called money, my academic degrees are actually in economics. Most people know me as a minister, but my undergrad is in poli-sci economics, and I have an MBA from UCLA in economics, in urban land economics, in real estate finance. And I had a finance career before I went into full-time ministry. I literally used to buy and sell money. Now, I know that sounds weird, but that's what I did.
Yeah.
I did. I bought and sold pension fund monies for Prudential. So when we think about money, it's kind of like, what is it?
Yes.
What is it really? I know I've taken many classes on Bitcoin, and I gotta admit, it's somewhere deep inside, it's not registering. You know, really, it's like I'm still trying to figure it out. Maybe I'm just like a little bit slow. But bottom line is that money is just a tool for exchange. That's all that it is. I've noticed since COVID, I have barely touched what I used to think of as money. I've almost used no cash since COVID.
Yeah.
These cards that go in these little machines and back in and out. And it's like, is that money? You know, numbers here, there, you go online, you look at accounts, you push some numbers and stuff's going back and forth and whatnot. So it's like, what really, we empower it with so much, but it is only about the ability to exchange things. That's all that it's about. But we pay too much attention sometimes to having the money for the exchange than focusing on the thing that you want itself. When I get money enough for the car, when I can afford this, when I can pay for that, what I'm going to ask everybody to do is just imagine yourself with it. Don't worry about how it gets there, because we spend most of our time trying to manifest the money to do what it is that we want to do than we do focusing on claiming that we already have it, that we already are it, that we're already doing it. We allow, oh, sorry, I forgot to turn this off. We allow statistics to get in the way. We allow these things that we have heard to get in the way. Understand what we're listening to when we talk about statistics.
Right.
We have no idea. Absolutely none. You know, I'll give you some examples. You want to buy a house and you hear, oh, the median average house in this area, $200,000. Okay. And you think, oh, I don't have $200,000. Like, I can't afford $200,000. But you know what that means? The medium average, it just cuts it in the middle. That means 50% or above, but guess what? 50% or below. So I'm here thinking, well, I can't do this because I don't have $200,000, because I'm looking at that, but that's not what that says. You know, we can say, well, you know, the average age of the person that gets into this career is 30 years old. And you're thinking, well, you know, I can't do that. You know, I'm not 30. I'm too old for that.
Right.
Mean average.
Average.
If three people go to the park, you've got a set of 10-year-old twins and their 70-year-old grandparent. Okay. You've got three people in the park, two 10-year-olds and a 70-year-old. Adds up to 90. You divide that by 3, 30. So you get this report back. The average age of people at the park was 30. And you had two 10-year-olds and you had a 70-year-old. So we're letting like these numbers and these reports and things and whatnot inform us as to what's possible for us. Don't worry about all of that. Seriously, don't worry about all of that. I'm sitting in it. I'm sitting in 3.5 acres that we bought with no money. And the person that sold it to us lent us the down payment.
How do you sell something and learn money?
It's called a seller take back. It's called a seller take back, where the seller turns over to you and then lends you the money.
It's funny when you think about it. It's like, whew, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So basically, just to explain what I'm talking about, like how outlandish things would be, don't get stuck. So it would be like if you had a car and you didn't take any money for it, but you just gave somebody the title. You gave them the title to it. Okay. They're supposed to pay you $200 for the car, but they actually give you $25 in your hand that you're giving them some money for, and then eventually you give them the whole $200 when you find some other kind of way to do it. I'm not trying to be confusing. All I'm trying to say is that the universe works in so many different kinds of ways. I remember the first house we ever bought. This woman, there was this guy in my class, in my practitioner class with Reverend Michael. And I just went up to him, and one day I said, Spirit told me you're going to find me my house. And he said, okay. So about 2 months later, he said, I think I found you your house. Wow. I said, really? He said, yeah. He wasn't an architect, but he did architectural design and he owned an architectural firm. He was building a second story onto this very rich woman's house who had bought a new condo for her daughter, but the daughter didn't want to move into it. So he said, I told her about you, and she said, fine. Let me tell you how perfect this thing is. It's in this little area. There's 7 condos. Everybody's gay.
Welcome home.
all of the other everybody's gay. They were all gay men. Everybody was gay. Wow. And to make it sweeter, the woman knew my former partner and I because we were in this civil rights law case. She saw us from television. She met us one time. No credit report, no nothing. She just gave us the keys. She said, here, you can rent it. You can just start renting it now, and we'll turn that into like a sale thing or whatnot. Hey, just move in. No down payment, no nothing. And it was cheaper than the rent we were paying. Just know it. This place that I'm talking about that we bought, this 3.5 acres, we had been visioning this. Spirit had been showing it to us. You don't know what's out there. See, everything's already there. Okay? It's like a dance of energy. The good you seek is seeking you. You need a car, guess what? There's somebody that needs to get rid of a car.
That's right.
Whatever. They inherited a car. Somebody died. They're moving cross country. They don't want to take this car. They don't want to take this car with them. I mean, there's like all these different ways. Don't get stuck on, do I have the money? Just, what do you need? You need a washing machine. You need this thing, that thing. You need your tuition paid. See yourself there. Don't school yourself out. You never know what kind of program is there. You never know what kind of opportunity is there. Don't screen yourself out. Dream large. Take the I can't afford it out of it. Don't get stuck there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I know. I got miracle stories about everything from the IRS to you name it. I know.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so many things in there. I just listening to you, I'm thinking of an experience I had recently. I just moved a little over a month ago, and I was looking at beds and going to IKEA's website, and I saw some that I liked. I'm like, oh yeah, and I think yeah, that fits my budget. And then as I kept researching, I found out that what I was looking at IKEA was just the bed. It didn't have the mattress. And I started looking at prices for mattress. I'm like, that's a bit on the other side of my budget. So I think, okay, I got to think of another way. I'm part of an app called Nextdoor.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I needed to get a bed because I need one. I was sleeping on the air mattress. One day, it showed me an email that was sent out saying I may have missed it. And it was where they give away different things. This Nextdoor is here. I think it's pretty global.
Mm-hmm.
So you had free stuff.
Yeah.
But somehow I just felt the need to click on it. And it was looking. I was like, I just moved. I might find something I can use. And then I saw this bed frame. I was like, that looks sturdy. It looks good. So it was like 70 pounds. I was already going to pay like 300 pounds just for the bed itself without the mattress and everything else. So I sent them an email and I said, it's still available because I'm like, it doesn't hurt to try. They said, they're still available. When I got there, it didn't even take me long, 5 minutes to say, I want it. And, sometimes they say you kind of just, kind of look around. Do I have any other questions? I don't, because I feel led to this. Mm-hmm. I've talked to the guy who was showing it to me, and I said, I want to put a deposit down. And doing those kind of, I just like to go and buy stuff. I don't do bartering or negotiating. I don't just feel like I get uncomfortable. Yeah. Anyway, I said, I'll do 20 pounds. Is that okay to hold it so I can pick it up in a few days' time? When his partner came down, he heard me say 20 pounds. He thought I was offering 20 pounds for the 70 pounds bed frame. I just read it in his expression. I said, what's the matter? I said, oh, you thought I wanted to pay 20 pounds? He said, no. He said, yeah. He said, he thought I wanted to pay 20 pounds for it. So I said, oh, no, I wasn't paying 20 pounds. That was for the deposit. And he went, oh. And I said, I don't know how to haggle. So I said, well, since you are letting me know that it's possible. So I took that advantage. I said, how about 60 pounds? He said, all right, then you can have it. So I went there thinking, was looking to pay like over 300 pounds for a bed and more. Got it for 60 pounds. Of course, after I walk away, I said, maybe I could have gone down to 50 pounds. I had to, but the truth is, it's when I look at the bed, it's still a reminder of what is possible.
Yes.
One of the things I learned from that is I kept my mind on what I wanted. Mm-hmm. I knew I needed to get it. So just researching, looking, there wasn't a sort of anxiety about it. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I believe sometimes we forget that instead of like, okay, I think the more I'm looking for a blessing, I'm looking for a miracle, the more we get in our own way. It's like whatever we desire is just go towards it. And there are lessons to be learned along the journey, which brings us to where we need to be.
Exactly. The chair I am sitting in, the table, the desk that is in front of me. This is another true story. So we buy this place, 17,000 square feet. It's big. Our center. We get this phone call as we're moving in from this woman that barely would come sometimes. She said that she was the nanny of a couple that owned a company. They had opened up a new facility downtown, and they were closing out where they had been in this huge Victorian house on the other side of town. They had had dozens of employees, and they just left everything.
Wow.
And they were asking her to liquidate it, to get rid of it. Part of the reason why they left it, it said it's a 4-story Victorian with no elevator.
Not doing it, they said. Nope. Wow.
They had dozens of employees. So she called me up and said, it's her charge to get rid of it. We can have all of it if we'll take it away. So a whole team of people rented these trucks. And here's the kicker. It was the exact furniture that had been identified as being wanted. These cherry bottoms and kind of a marble colored granite tops and some curves. Everything. I'm talking lateral file cabinets, huge whiteboards on rollers, even the plastic stuff that goes underneath the chair that you roll on, the desk, the drawers that roll up. We had so much stuff that not only did we outfit all of the offices and everything, we had extra in storage. Free. Free. The good you seek is seeking you. When it came time to paint the buildings, this group offered to paint the buildings. And then we said, well, can we pay for the paint? So they went back and asked for a discount for the paint. And the people at the paint shop said, no, you don't have to pay for the paint. Just feed us. So we had our gourmet chefs make beef stroganoff and all this stuff. And we didn't even have to pay for the food. Hooked them up. I've seen this just so many times. Whatever, you need a crib for your baby. You know, if you just believe that you have enough.
Yes.
If you just believe that your needs are taken care of. Honestly, everything is already here. We don't actually need more stuff. The stuff is already here. We do not have a supply problem. We have a distribution problem.
Yes.
We have a distribution problem. We don't have a supply problem. One of the things that we would do here is every year we would have this big flea market called Elegant Treasures, where we would turn the whole campus into like a mall, where there's like electronics department and furniture department, and put the clothes on hangers and everything. Like this really big deal, jewelry. And the jewelry makers would come in and fix, you know, all the jewelry and stuff and whatnot and make these displays. And it is it's just extraordinary. I can go through my whole house, from my vacuum cleaner to the crock pot to the right there. I don't have to go and buy more of that stuff. But if we keep thinking the money, I don't have the money to this, and I don't have the money, it's like you don't know. You may need housing. Okay. Until you can afford your own. I don't know. Maybe your best friend's auntie dies and leaves her a 4-bedroom house, and you and your kids move in and share it with her for 6 months. I don't know. I just know that the universe takes care of you. It takes care of you. And when I get into that, well, I don't have the money for this or that. Every time I've ever done that it never happens. It never happened. And then when I asked myself 5-6 years later, why didn't it happen? I actually had the money for it a number of times over, but did something else with it. You know, little by little.
Yes.
Because it wasn't my inner intent to have what that was that I said that I wanted.
Yes.
It was more my intent to manifest the money. But then as the monies came, different things had different priorities or whatnot, and it still never had whatever it is.
I can relate.
But here's the main point of it, is that we're chasing after these things that we think money can buy us because of who we think we'll be once we have it.
Yes, right. That's
Okay.
right.
So the thing is symbolic of whatever, security, of confidence, of success, of ease, of fun, of sexy, like whatever it is. Like, if I could just get that, I'll be okay. If I could just get that, I'll be fulfilled. And the mass media marketing commercials play off of that.
Yes.
When you look at the commercials these days, sometimes I wonder what the product was at the end of the commercial.
Right.
Because they're telling you, well, be your own boss and you can control the road, and and the leaders and everybody will follow you, and all the rest of this stuff. Like, what are we chewing gum? Like, what were we selling? I don't even remember.
Right.
Because they're trying to associate the product with this drive, this need.
Yes.
That you have.
A fix.
So you'll go after that thing, thinking when I get that, I'm gonna be okay. You're okay now. You're okay without it. Which is, I think, what you were trying to say earlier. Is if you think that you gotta have this thing to be okay, that energy is forever going to push it away.
Yes.
It's going to repel it. It's as though the universe has this built-in safety mechanism to make certain that we don't become too beholden to the wrong things.
Yes.
Okay. Because if you did get that, then you think your good was in that. You'd be too afraid to lose it.
That's right.
Everything would be about sacrifice and trying to get it, trying to hold it. I don't care whether it's a person, whether it's a job, whether it's an object like a house or a car. No, you are perfect, whole, and complete. You are perfect, whole, and complete. So that other stuff is just accessorizing you.
Yes. Yes.
It's not making you. It's not creating you. It's just a little add-on decoration to who you already are.
That's right. That's right. Whew. I feel like I got a shot of vitamin B, vitamin blessings. Like, whew, come on. Let me open my window and say, what's up? So I want to do something here, tie two things together. And I could do it with you because I know you got it. Actually, I may put that in maybe 3 different questions, but it's all one. So this thing called energy, what is it? That's one. Then there's a statement where they say, the love of money is the root of all evil. We're always talking about love. So if I love money, how can that be the root of evil? First of all, I think let's do that part first, because I know you break it down. Let's do the love of money, or money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. Let's go with that. Or maybe you can tie it in with the energy too, just however you want to do it. Like this whole thing about loving money being the root of all evil. And you've sort of spoken to it, but I just want you to go a little bit deeper. And what is this thing called energy? Because somebody might listen saying, okay, I get that I can want what I want and not put my attention to it. Really just, I'll open myself to it, but you keep talking about the energy. What is this energy thing? So over to you.
So Let me make the distinctions in the word love. That there's a line in scripture that you can't serve God and mammon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's interpreted in the King James Version as wealth. But it's not wealth. It's the lust of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in the scriptures that say anything negative about money or being rich. Most of the biggest characters in the Bible were filthy rich. From Abraham to David to Solomon to Job. I mean, just on and on. So there's nothing that equates being rich or wealthy with being a bad person or ungodly. Okay. It's the lust of the riches. It's the lust after it. The lust of anything corrupts.
That's the one we're making the wealth God then, right? The lust becomes where we're making wealth God. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So when we say the love of money, it really isn't so much about the money as it is the way that we equate money with societal power. So then we live in a world that kind of has this dichotomy between these two tensions of which force is going to dominate. The love of power or the power of love, of the agapeo love, which is the heart-centered connectedness, interconnectedness of all life and sacred things.
Yes.
Okay. So we're ultimately having to make a choice always between those two things. Whether we're going to love societal power and put all of our attention and whatnot on that, or whether we're going to believe in the power of love to heal all things and to transform all things and to make all things happen. Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount, seek first the kingdom of God and all of its righteousness, which literally means justice, and all things will be added. See, this kingdom of God is at hand. Kingdom of heaven is within, but the kingdom of God is at hand. Seek first, basically, the beloved community and all of its justice. And if you will focus your attention on that, on the kindness, the compassion, the justice, the our bring us this day, our daily bread, live in that, then the stuff, the material stuff will come. But most of us think of it the other way around. Like, when I get myself set with all my material stuff,
right,
then I'll worry about justice and everybody else.
Right. Right now, I'm just trying to pay my bills. I can't
right
be marching
now,
for nothing.
Yeah. It's all about the rent. It's all about the rent. Anybody got time? Anybody got time to worry about?
I gotta eat.
All of that. And then we look across the social political divides and judge other people for that same attitude. Why do we want to support Biden's program? You know, why do we want to pay for child care? Why do we want to, that's not going to do me, my family, but they're getting ahead of me. They're getting all the, no. When I say that everything is energy, I can't really define energy. you know. And I'm not really sure there's a good definition for it. I can tell you what it does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't define love. I can't define joy. I can tell you like what it does and how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Einstein helped us to understand how absolutely everything is energy. Energy is a force field, I guess is what I would call it. It's a force field. It's everywhere. Everything comes out of it and it morphs and it takes shape and it takes form. It vibrates at different frequency levels. So the lower the frequency level, the slower that energy vibrates, the more solid it becomes. The faster that it vibrates and the higher its frequency, the more quote unquote invisible it comes. Closest example I could give would be like what happens with water. So heat is a form of energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you remove heat, make the heat less and less, the water becomes frozen, becomes a lot more rigid, looks more solid. If you heat it up, the molecules start going a little bit faster, then it thaws out, it liquefies, and it becomes a lot more fluid and a lot more malleable.
Mm-hmm.
You heat it up even more, it vaporizes, and then you can't even see it.
Right.
Okay, well, that's how the energy is. It's as though the stuff that we can see and touch is frozen ice.
Mm-hmm.
We have the capacity to liquidify it. We have the capacity to raise its vibration so that it becomes more malleable. See, that chunk of ice, you can't even penetrate. But if you heat it up and the water becomes more liquid, it can go up, down, over, around, through. It can't be held back. It can spread out all over the place. So that's how we are with our fields. That when we get stuck in judgment and guilt and resentment and blame and all of that, it's like just like that. But as we start to heat up, so to speak, recalibrate at higher and higher frequencies, and this stuff that's just like this starts to expand out and grow and get higher and more. And we're fluid, we're flowing all over everything, we're intermingling, we're blessing, we're, you know, a chunk of ice can't water the grass. You know, it's not gonna make anything grow. But you melt it down a little bit and it can nourish and nurture. That's how we are. The bottom line of this for you to understand, everyone, is that if you really want things to shift and change, don't just deal with the outer forms. Don't just chop the ice and try to sculpt the ice, you know? Like, let your energy melt it down, so to speak. Because what we know is that energy is neither created nor destroyed. It only changes form. It only changes form. Another way to look at this might be the compost pile, where you have what feces, you've got crap, you have garbage, you have all of this other stuff. It goes into the earth. Everything comes out of it. It goes back in. So that the universe is like this compost pile. It takes all of our stuff and makes it fertilizer for whatever's next.
Yes.
So we're not stuck with just this form. Even the stuff that's crap becomes a blessing, fertilizing whatever it is that's next. So when I say energy, I'm talking about that which exchanges, that which grows and multiplies,
Yes.
the essence that's underneath it all.
Yes.
The essence that's so that's what you want to shift. Earlier, when we were talking about hashtag lottery winners, that the people who suddenly come into a lot of wealth, they lose it. Because the energy, the frequency level that they were operating on is lack and limitation. And our outer world is always the mirror of our inner frequency.
Yes.
The outer world is the mirror of our inner frequency. So if I'm angry and mad all the time, that goes out, and then that energetic field attracts things like that. If my energy is more unconditionally loving and compassionate, then things that resonate with that start to come towards me. And it really isn't all that big of a mystery. No, really. So
I know what you mean.
Before marijuana was legal, it's legal in California. I used to use this as an example. I used to just say from my pulpit, if you smoke weed and it's illegal, but you smoke weed and you go on vacation someplace, how long do you think it's going to take somebody who smokes weed to find some weed?
Oh, in a heartbeat, they don't know the right person to go to.
Is it going to take 30 days?
Oh, absolutely not.
They could go into some place they have never been before.
Yes.
And the weed will find them.
Yes.
They could be sitting on the park bench and somebody will come along and say, hey, you want some? The weed will find them.
Yes.
That's energy. Okay?
I like that. Yes.
If you're a musician and you go into a town and you don't know anybody, you're going to find a musician. They're going to find you. You could have a room full of quote unquote happily married couples. There could be 100 happily married couples. The cheaters are going to find each other.
So true. Yes.
Before the night is over.
I didn't see that one coming. Yeah.
Before the night. Oh, I know. I used to be on both ends of that one. Oh, I know. They will find each other. That's energy. If somebody wants to break it down, that's energy.
That's energy.
This vibratory thing where the similar stuff is coming. So you could send that couple. You could do communications and marriage counseling and all of the rest of that. But until the cheaters are willing to shift that energy,
you'll always be a cheater.
You'll be in rehab scoring drugs. Unless you shift that energy, those of you that are supposedly in rehab, the ones that really don't want to change, you're going to be exchanging drugs in rehab.
I like that. I like how you broke that.
That's energy. That's when I say you have to recalibrate. You have to shift. And when you shift towards wanting to be something, it's the same thing. If you are about change, if you're about social justice and you are about fairness and equality, you can go someplace and the people who are about that will find you and you will find them and you will hook up together. It will happen. But if your attitude and your energy, ain't nobody around here, everything's down, everything's dumb, and that's what you're gonna find. That's what you're gonna find. So you can't be one thing and think you're gonna hook up with another vibration. You can't be sitting around eating Hostess Twinkies all the time and thinking you're gonna attract, the marathon runner.
Something gonna happen.
How many vision boards you do? You want the marathon? You want the marathon runner, and put down the Twinkies
and run a marathon
and get out there. At least try to touch your toes. Do something.
Or try and run and buy a Twinkie.
Treadmill. Even if you don't want to run around the block, like you have to calibrate.
Yes.
At the frequency of what you want to experience in order to attract it, hold on to it. Attracting it's one thing. You can win that lottery, but you can't keep it. This is the most beautiful thing in the universe. We have so much spiritual integrity. The universe will not, we in our psyche, we will not allow ourselves to have anything we don't think we deserve. We will sabotage it. That's why it's more important that you spend your energy convincing yourself that you deserve than you do trying to make something happen.
Yes. Yes.
You don't need everything. You don't need to do it the hard way.
Yeah. And taking that on board is easy for people to understand. I think it was Jesus that said, the rich will always get richer and the poor will always be poor, because it's consciousness. If you believe you're poor, if you just think, whoa, it's me, and you don't snap out of it, you create more of that. If you recognize that I am enough, I'm going to have everything I need when I need it, it's going to come. It's going to show up, because we are the generator tuning the frequency of what we're trying to attract. And through where we're placing our attention is what determines not just what I think what we experience, but more so how we experience what's in our environment.
And this rich and poor that it's talking about is not it's talking about physical or material wealth. It's talking about our inner vibratory field. And that richer and poor in that sense aren't necessarily good things. It's like, it would be like our saying, those who consider themselves to be entitled and privileged will keep creating more privilege and entitlement. And those who think of themselves as victimized and marginalized will keep creating more opportunities to experience victimization and marginalization.
Anybody take a breath? Woo! Yes. Yes.
Would be another way of looking at that. There's another, there's a parable in the scripture where Jesus is talking to a rich man, young rich man. And the rich man, young man, is telling him, I've done everything that I know how to do. What else can I do? I've followed all the commandments, everything. And Jesus tells him, sell everything that you have and give it to the poor. It says, and he left feeling very distraught. And Jesus is quoted at this point saying that it is easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven, is the way that the King James Version puts it. So a lot of people have thought this is a condemnation, once again, about rich people, like rich people can't get into heaven. No, that's not what it is. In Aramaic, the language that Jesus spoke, the same word for camel also means rope. The same word.
You said it means what?
Rope.
Rope. Okay. Ah, okay.
What would it take to get a rope through the eye of a needle? What would you have to do to a rope? You'd have to thin it out.
Yes.
This rich is puffy hard up, like haughty. In order to get through the needle, you have to shed some of that proud puffiness that comes along with it. Okay, because it's not the money, it's the lusting after it, the way that we think that it makes us something, the way that we think it makes us better than other people. If you're lusting after it, then you believe that you're not as good without it. And here's the thing about the lust. Jesus also speaks of this in the Sermon on the Mount when he talks about adultery. And he says that he who lusts after his neighbor's wife has already committed the adultery in his heart.
Right. Yes.
Okay. This is important for us to realize that what you do in consciousness is already done. That's good news and that's bad news.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Because if you were forever rehearsing all of the negativity and stuff, playing out all the bad scenarios, you're already living it. It's already done. But likewise, if in your heart you were living in the opulence of God, you were living in the goodness, and you were living in the justice, and you were living in the kindness of God, then so be it for you.
Yes.
So you could be picking cotton and singing a hymn. Exhausted. I think about that line that I love from Mother Pollard, this woman in Martin Luther King Jr.'s, Dr. King Jr.'s church. She was out there in the Montgomery bus boycott with them. When the news cameras interviewed her and said, aren't you tired? You've been walking almost a year. And I love her response. She said, my feet is tired, but my soul is resting. And it's like that. We're even in the midst of the activity, even in the midst of the so-called overwhelm, you can have the energy of resting. You can have the energy of being taken care of. Sufficiency, enoughness. That's what you get to experience. But if you make your life just the stuff around you, then you're letting it control your well-being. Where do you live? And I ain't talking about a physical residence.
Yes.
Where are you building your house? What is your dwelling place? One of my favorite scriptures is the 23rd Psalm. I used to say it all the time as a child, and I still say it now. And and it ends with, "And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever."
Yes.
I get these spirit downloads, and one of these most recent ones, it just sent chills all up and down me. At the end of the Sermon on the Mount, it talks about the parable of the two foundations, and Jesus says that he who hears these words of mine and does something with them is likened to the wise man who builds his house upon the rock. And when the winds and the rains come, the house still stands. But he who hears this and doesn't do anything with what I am saying is likened to the foolish man who builds his house upon the sand. And when the winds and the rains come, great is the fall of the house. Mm. This ain't just a construction lesson. That house is you. Mm. And then this letter is said to me, and it says to me, but it's like for everybody. It says, I don't even want you building your house upon the rock. I want you dwelling in my house forever. Mm. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's just all these things that I'm still chasing after and trying to do and like trying to make happen and all of that. And something just, I thought, wow, what if I just let all that go and dwelt in the house of the Lord? Wow. And I got it at such a visceral level because it used to be the joke around here pre-COVID when everybody was still hanging around. And, I could spend 15 hours a day here easy. And I used to say, boy, I had no idea when I was a child, the affirmation I was making, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I said, can a sister go home? I mean,
you spent your whole day at the spiritual center.
I am in the house of the Lord for forever and ever and ever. I go home.
And if you leave, someone calls you and say something needs your attention, you can turn around and come back.
Yes. And now it's that. And we've actually sold the center now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
The escrow should close in a few weeks.
Wow. Congratulations.
It's going to be a 3-story, 90 beds, senior assistant living complex here. It's a terrible housing shortage in the area, and with community gardens and all the rest of that, and they're annexing half of the property next door to put a dog park. It'll be a really, really good usage of the property, and we'll go into more shared space stuff with other communities and nonprofits and create more synergies than us being a standalone church.
Sharing, contribution, community. Yes. And I'm telling you, I won't be surprised if we ever hear once that place is built and the people who came in walking stick are not going back home with no walking stick because they're standing on holy ground.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's right. Yes,
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Indeed.
It's designed to go like the different levels of the aging process, and they've got beautiful memory care units as well, where, for people who are suffering from dementia and that kind of stuff, beautiful ways that they're done and that they're treated. They'll have the top area so that they can be outdoors without having them getting lost, going downstairs. Yeah, they'll have the balconies and the rooftop gardens and stuff and whatnot. Yeah, it's really sweet. It's really, really nice.
Yes.
Passing it on, reseeding it. We've been here 18 years.
That's it. Wow. 18 years. Yeah, that together.
18
That's
years.
nine completion. Perfect. Yep. It's time.
It's done.
It's time.
It's done.
It is done.
It's time. And it's just really, honestly, October 6th, in a couple of days, it's 20 years since my ordination.
Well, tomorrow.
And we had our first service 2 years after that. Like exact, like the same 5th, 6th, like exact right there. Wow. It's astounding, you know, and I was going through some records. I got my domestic partnership license on October 6th. And a couple of years later, the marriage license was on October 6th, same as my ordination anniversary. So yeah, this little window, like right here, is like this full circle back in all of these deep commitment areas. God is good.
Yes. The great mystery is real simple. We just got to be willing to be less complicated. And sometimes we can reaffirm the fact that we're enough by just releasing stuff. Throw away just releasing stuff that we don't need, that we have in the house, and just sharing. I love that. Be sharing space for other people. There is enough. There is enough. We're enough. And
it reminds me, if I can just leave with this image, it reminds me of a spider web, where a spider web is very complex, but it's not complicated. It's intricate, but it has repeating patterns. And that's how life is. So we get overwhelmed by the size of the web, so to speak. But if you really just are willing to study life and not be afraid of it, you'll see its patterns.
Yes.
And once you see the patterns, it doesn't feel so overwhelming.
That's right.
Like a stitching pattern, and you're looking at this big tapestry, you can see that same pattern going on all over the place. And I'm not saying that you will understand it all, but you won't feel disempowered by its enormity.
Right. Yes. We're a part of the great mystery.
You're a part of the great mystery.
Thank you, Rev D. Thank you for the journey.
Thank you.
The expanded awareness. I feel myself so full and so expansive right now. Thank you for all you do. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And see you next month.
All right. Take care.
Peace and blessings.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Woo, Lord. I love me some Rev D. She just takes it to a whole new level. I don't need to say much other than, life is a practice. Practice your work. Do what you need to do. If you need support, you can reach out to Rev D, DeborahLJohnson.org. You can go to my website, lifecoachade.com. We're here to support you. You are the miracle that you're praying for. And don't forget, I'm going to be speaking at the Shift Network, the next summit, Beyond the Veil. Beyond the Veil, right. I'm going to put the link in the chat room. Feel free to register. And trustfully you can join us. You're welcome, Kwali. Kwali said, thank you, Ade. Thank you, Rev D. Just Erica said, thank you very much. We are getting ready to release this. Check out my website, lifecoachade.com. Sign up the mailing list. And please, actually, I don't have to say that. Let your spirit be your guide. All I would say is share this conversation. Share the show. I'm gonna step into the green room so I can have a chat with my mentor. So Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we thank God for you.
Be who you are. Let your light shine.